Hey guys, welcome back to KB Small Engine Repair. I've got this John Deere 155C lawn tractor in my shop today. It's got a lot going on with it, but one thing I noticed right off the bat is it's got a stripped spark plug hole. So we are going to be repairing that today, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. So let's get right into it. Okay guys, so as I said, we are going to be repairing this spark plug hole, the threads on this spark plug, on this John Deere 155C. It is a Briggs & Stratton 25 horse V-twin. It's just on this one side. I've been trying to get some lighting in here. You probably can't see in there, right in the hole, but the threads are stripped. What we're going to be using today is a Sav-A-Thread Kit by Helicoil. And I'll just talk about this real quick. This kit comes with a few different thread styles, a few different thread depths, I should say. So basically you match the depth of the thread to the spark plug you're trying to use. 3 different thread depths. Match that up to the depth of the spark plug you're trying to use. So today we'll be using should we? Yeah, we'll be using this deeper one today. So once you get that figured out, it comes with a special tap. This tap is flared. So the top part of it is the original depth of the original thread size of the spark plug, and then it's tapered up to the new size of the thread, the helicoil that it comes with. So it opens it up to the helicoil size. So the size of this that you'll be putting in, and then the internal threads of this is the original size of the spark plug. So we tap that out with this, put this in with it calls for some high temperature silicone RTV. And then if you can see on the top of this, there's some kind of ridges on there, some teeth on there. Once you get that in, comes with this little mandrel deal that you pound. You pound it in and it kind of expands those teeth into the side of the cylinder head. So that's kind of a brief overview of what we're going to be doing. Just so you can kind of have an idea and follow along. And we'll just get to work. I'm choosing not to take the head off of this block. There's pros and cons in doing it both ways. I'm going to choose not to do that this time. I'm going to dip this tap into a bunch of grease. So hopefully it catches a majority of the shavings as I'm tapping it. That way they don't fall into the cylinder. That would be my biggest concern. That's the main reason you would want to take the head off. But now that I've got it coated in a bunch of grease, ideally that will catch a majority of the shavings, chips, whatever you call them. And then we'll go back through at the end and kind of clean those up with a Q-tip, get the rest of them or whatever else we can get. So I might be in your way a little bit here. Just want to make sure I get this going in straight. But that is key. You want to make sure you get this going in as straight as you can. Sometimes there will be some threads there, depending on your situation, there will be some threads there that it will bite onto. That will kind of guide you in there. In this case, it looks like there might have been a few left over that it took to kind of guide you in there, get you going straight. Sometimes you might be dealing with a completely stripped out hole, and you need to just make sure that you're going in perfectly straight. So as you can see, it's super easy right now. We're still in that first section of that tap, where it's the original spark plug holes, or the original threads, I mean, excuse me. Once we get to that tapered side, where it really starts to open it up, that's where it will start to get real hard. I think we're just about there. Yep, we've just starting to grab on there. When I'm tapping anything, I like to do a turn, you know, a couple turns maybe, and then back off 1/8 of a turn. Just helps so you're not tearing the hole. Back some of those shavings off into the open groove of the tap. If that makes sense, I can kind of show you when I pull this off. Keeps everything from binding up in there. Just back off a little bit. One thing you want to be careful of when you keep this, one thing I forgot to mention, when you keep the head on the machine, make sure you're not going to be hitting anything. You're not going to be hitting the piston head. You're not going to be hitting any valves. Just make sure you look inside of the drawing a blank. The spark plug hole. Make sure you've got a clear shot for the whole length of the tap. Make sure you're not going to end up hitting anything as you drive this in there. I've already kind of done that. I didn't do that on camera, but just go nice and easy on this. No rush, no reason to blow through this. You've got kind of one shot. Lost my lighting there. This is a deep plug hole. As you kind of saw that spark plug, so this is going to have to go all the way down the full depth of the tap. I think we're just about there though. This is going in pretty smooth now. Yeah, we're through. Yep. Very nice. Just back it out. Should be able to do it by hand. Should come easy now. Go nice and slow here. Make sure you get as much shavings, debris, grease, as much of that junk as you can. Just as you can tell there, all those shavings and debris and all that garbage is right there, all in that grease. So that's the purpose of that grease. So when I'm backing off, when I do a couple turns and back off, the purpose of that is to put the shavings into these gaps here. If you just keep going, you're going to end up tearing chips, tearing, you're just pulling on it, and it's got nowhere to push those shavings as you're cutting them. But when you back off, it gives it an opportunity to fall back into these gaps and grooves. But there's most of that stuff, so you can see in there, you probably, you might be able to. Let me get another light in there. Let me set this down real quick, get you a close up. So if you can see in there, all that grease and the shavings, most of that is on the outside. There's almost nothing on the inside. It all came out with that grease, big old blob on the outside. So that worked out perfect. Just as I wanted. And it saved me from taking the head off. So worked out great. Now what I'll do is I'll take some Q-tips, clean all that up, clean those threads up, and we'll be good to put the new threads in. Let me get a light, more light over there so I can see that. Whoop. Hopefully you guys can see it as well. I know it's pretty bright. It's kind of a dark hole in there, so I tried to get some good lighting for you. Kind of might be a weird obsession, or not obsession, but I actually like pulling out my taps and dies. If it's something I caused, it kind of makes for a bad day, but it makes you good money, and I enjoy the process. A lot of people joke, it's a bad day for a mechanic when you're pulling that stuff out. And it can be, depending on the situation. It can make for a 10, 15 minute job to take several hours or whatever the situation may be, but I enjoy this stuff actually. So have fun with it. See, all the shavings just stick to that grease. You can pull it out. Super easy. Clean those threads out. Trying to stay out of your way. Sorry if I'm blocking the camera. Nothing on the inside, so that's great. I'll call that good for now. I'll go back and clean it up a little bit later. But now we are good. I'm going to blow it out real quick. Put some air in there. some of those. Some more of the shavings out of the cooling fins and stuff. And now we're ready to put this in. Again, it calls for some high temperature silicone RTV. Got some Honda Bond here that I'll put on around the outside of the threads. It's pretty tight in there, so probably doesn't need too much. Gonna put a little bit on there, spread it around. I'm gonna call that good. It says you can use the spark plug to help you get it started, and I think I'm gonna have to do that because it's pretty deep in there. And that's not helping me. Need more room. Need this little panel off is what I need. I'm gonna put it on the spark plug socket and the ratchet. Let's see if I can't get it started. There we go. Again, it's all about feel. You don't want to strip these out again. You want the new threads to be flush with the top of the head. See if I can get the spark plug out of here. Okay, looking good, looking good. We're almost there. We're there. Perfect. Get some of that extra silicone off the top of that thing. Pushed out the top. Last thing to do, take this little, I don't know what they call it, little mandrel deal. We've got to make sure to push those top ends out. It's got this little ridge right here, and that's the side you want. You just want it to seat flush with the top of this. I can go grab my hammer real quick. So it says to hit it a couple times, but make sure not to hit it too hard. You're just trying to push that beveled edge up top out into the side of the cylinder head. So make sure we're nice and straight. We're there. You can feel it. You should be able to feel it. You can stick it in there and kind of feel it sit in there. Sit in the top of that. You can feel it sit. Before, when it's sitting up here, kind of in the top of the ridge, it kind of bobbles around. But when you hit it in, you'll be able to feel it sit flush on there. So we're there. Now, because of the RTV, it's going to take 24 hours to cure. Should dry in 60 minutes, but 24 hours to cure. Because of that, that's kind of why I did it now, over the weekend. That way it's got the weekend to dry. I can fire it up, start working on it again on Monday. So keep that in mind too if you're working on these, doing the same kind of job. You'll want to let that RTV dry before you start doing a bunch of other work on it. But that's how you use a Sav-A-Thread by Helicoil. I know there's lots of brands out there. There's lots of brands. Sav-A-Thread, Helicoil, KeenCert, TimeCert, Permacoil. There's lots of brands. This is the one that my auto parts store had. When I went to pick one up, I wanted to get this job done quickly, so this is actually my first time using this brand. Seemed to go in pretty well, as you saw. Pretty easy, painless job. So I would give it a thumbs up. It's kind of a review. This has kind of turned into a review, I guess, but super, very painless job. Seems to be a good quality product. We'll see as time goes on, I guess. But it was a great, easy process. So that's how you do it. All the processes with all the different brands are pretty similar. You tap it out, insert the product, and you're on your way. So thank you guys for joining me. If you liked the video, please hit that thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel. And as always, make a choice to have a great day. Thanks for watching.